You unlock the phone late at night. Their profile loads. Not to message, just to see. A glance, then another. The screen glows. Your chest tightens. It's not about them. It's about you. Still tethered. Still checking. Each tap, a silent plea for their nod. You know it cuts. You do it anyway. The loop spins. Again. Why feed what you know breaks you? You call it harmless. A moment's lapse. But each check is a choice. To kneel. To beg for a sign that never comes. What's left when you close the app? Not answers. Just emptiness. Heavier than before. Each glance builds a cage. Not theirs. Yours. The weight grows, not in their silence, but in your refusal to let go. You scroll to feel seen, but the screen reflects only your own trap. A cycle, not of connection, but of loss. Unseen, unspoken. It erodes not your worth, but your control. The system inside frays with every look. You have power over your mind, not outside events, Seneca said. A rope you grip burns only your hands. Release it, and the fall you fear doesn't come. The air clears. The weight lifts, not by their choice, but yours. Stillness waits beyond the screen. When you check, are you free? Or just running from the quiet? You think you're seeking closure, but each tap reopens the wound. The loop isn't theirs, it's yours. What holds you, if not your own hand? The screen dims, but the weight stays. Unless you choose. A breath held. A pause kept. The silence is where you begin. You draft a reply to set it right. Their words sting, and you want to prove you're not what they think. It feels like control, like you're taking back the frame. You type, revise, type again. Each word, a brick to build your case. You hit send or you don't. Either way, the weight stays. It's not about them, it's about you. Still explaining, still tethered to their gaze. You think explaining fixes it, makes you seen, understood. But each sentence binds you tighter to their judgment, to their silence. You're not proving worth, you're begging for it. The more you say, the less you hold. The loop spins, not because they judge, but because you answer. Again, what if you said nothing? No defense, no plea, just silence. Their words float, unanswered, unclaimed. You think it's weak to stay still, but explaining is the cage. Disengage. Let their judgment hang. It's not your chain. You don't owe anything. Cut one. The urge to explain. You feel their words, sharp, slicing through. A comment, a look, a silence that screams. You sit, fingers hovering over the keyboard. The urge rises to explain, to set it right, to make them see you're not what they think. You type one line, then another. Each word a plea for their approval. You think it's clarity. It's not. It's a trap. You're not proving worth. You're handing them the reins. Their judgment becomes your cage. You draft, revise, defend. But the more you say, the tighter the chain. It's not about them. It's about you, still begging to be seen. Explaining feels like control, like you're taking back the frame. But each sentence binds you deeper to their gaze, to their verdict. You think you're fixing it, but you're only feeding the loop. The system inside frays with every word. You give them power, Not because they demand it, but because you offer it. Again, their silence grows heavier. Not because they're right, but because you let it weigh. The cost isn't their misunderstanding. It's your own stillness, lost, unseen, eroded by your own hand. You have power over your mind, not outside events, Seneca said. Their words are just noise, a wind that passes. You don't need to answer. You don't need to prove. A machine doesn't justify its function. It runs. Disengage. Delete the draft. Let their judgment hang, unanswered, unclaimed. It's not weakness. It's strength. To say nothing is to hold the line. To explain is to surrender. Step back. Look at the screen. The cursor blinks, waiting. Don't fill it. Say less. Let the urge pass, like a wave you don't chase. Their words don't define you. Your silence does. Choose it now. The weight lifts, not when they understand, but when you stop needing them to. You don't owe anything. The pause lingers, a moment held. Their judgment, just a shadow now. But another reflex waits, ready to pull you back. Cut 2, checking their silence. The phone sits, face up. A notification blinks or doesn't. You reach for it, not to call, not to text, just to check. Their profile, a window you keep open. You scroll past old posts, old stories, not for answers, just for a trace. A sign they still see you. The screen glows. Your pulse quickens. It's not curiosity. It's clinging. A quiet ritual to feel less invisible. You know it's empty, yet you look again. Each check tightens the knot. Not theirs, yours. You think it's harmless, a glance, a moment. But every tap feeds the emptiness. It's not their silence that binds you. It's your need to fill it. The loop runs, not because they're gone, but because you keep searching. The cost isn't their absence. It's your own presence. Stolen, scattered, lost in a glow that gives nothing back. You check to feel connected. But the screen only mirrors your loss. A branch holds a bird until it flies. You grip the phone, but letting go doesn't mean falling. What you avoid controls you, Epictetus said. Their silence is just air, not a verdict. Not checking is the cut. Turn the phone over. Let the screen go dark. Witness the quiet, not their shadow. It's not about them. It's about you, choosing what you carry. The app closes. The urge lingers. Don't open it. Breathe through. Their silence isn't your truth. Your stillness is. Hold it. Now. The weight fades. Not when they appear, but when you stop looking. The void is where it clears. A breath settles. The phone stays dark, but another pull waits, tugging at your edges. Cut 3. Begging for approval. You soften your voice. Choose words that bend, not to clarify, but to please. Their eyes scan you, judging, weighing. You adjust. A smile, a nod, a careful phrase. You think it's connection. It's not. It's pleasing. A silent bargain to be liked, to be kept. You shift your stance. Dull your edges. Each concession, a piece of you traded. For their nod, for their stay. You think you're building a bridge? You're burning your own ground. Pleasing feels like safety, like you're holding their gaze. But each adjustment carves deeper, not into them, into you. You lose, not their respect, but your own. The system frays, not because they reject, but because you beg. Again, their approval, a weight you choose to carry. It doesn't lift you, it buries. The cost isn't their dislike, it's your own strength, dimmed, unseen, eroded by your own hand. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than others, but care more about their opinion. A blade dulled cuts no truth. Speak once, or not at all. Let their eyes pass, unclaimed. Disengage. Their nod isn't your anchor. Your own center is. Stand, unbent. Not for them, for you. Their gaze lingers, cold, distant. Don't chase it. Say less. Let their judgment fall, unanswered. Your worth doesn't need their vote. Hold it, now. The weight shifts, not when they approve, but when you stop needing them to. Detachment is a form of respect. The air stills, their eyes fade, but another reflex stirs, pulling you back to the edge. Marcus faced scorn daily. Senators whispered, crowds mocked. Yet he wrote, not for their applause, but for his own clarity. His quill moved, steady, untouched by their noise. His mind remained his own. The urge to please fades in the quiet, but another shadow looms, waiting to pull you under. Cut 4. Suppressing the sting. Their words land, heavy, sharp. A glance, a critique, a silence that cuts. Your chest tightens. Pain rises. You swallow it, push it down, force a smile or a nod. You tell yourself, it doesn't matter. It's fine. You're fine. But the sting lingers, buried, not gone. Suppressing feels like strength. It's not. It's a fracture waiting to spread. You hide the hurt, but it festers, unseen, unspoken, eating at the edges of your clarity. Each buried sting builds a weight. Not theirs, yours. You think you're moving past, but you're only carrying it deeper. The system inside cracks under the load. Not because they spoke, but because you silenced yourself. Again, the cost isn't their judgment, it's your own stillness. Stolen, smothered. The pain doesn't vanish. It grows. In the dark you create. You suppress to seem whole, but the fragments pile heavier than their words. Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. A wound ignored poisons the blood. Face it, don't flee. Breathe through. Let the sting rise and pass. Observe it without feeding it. The hurt is just a signal, not a chain. Don't bury it. See it. Let it move without moving you. It's not weakness, it's presence. To feel and not break is your edge. Their words echo. Your pulse spikes. Don't push it down. Witness the wave. Let it crest. The pain isn't your truth. Your choice is. Hold it now. The weight lifts. Not when the sting fades, but when you stop hiding it. Pain doesn't mean truth. The wave settles. The sting softens. But another reflex waits, ready to pull you back. Cut 5. Chasing their validation. You adjust again. Your words, your tone, your steps, all to fit their gaze. You think if you're better, sharper, more, they'll see you. Their nod, a prize you chase. You work harder, speak softer, move faster. Each effort, a silent plea, not for respect, for validation. You think it's progress. It's not. It's chasing. A race with no finish line. You run, but the ground shifts. Their approval, always just out of reach. Chasing feels like purpose, like you're earning your place. But each step pulls you further, not toward them, but from yourself. The loop spins not because they withhold, but because you pursue. Again, the cost isn't their distance. It's your own center. Lost, blurred, you reshape yourself to fit their frame. But the frame isn't yours. The weight grows, not in their silence, but in your refusal to stop. Epictetus taught, freedom is not achieved by satisfying desire, but by eliminating it. A shadow moves. You don't follow. Step back. Their validation isn't your measure. Unhook. Let their gaze pass, unclaimed. It's not about winning them. It's about holding you. Disengage. Your worth doesn't need their vote. Stand still. Not for them, for you. Their eyes flicker. Your urge surges. Don't run. Breathe. Let their approval fade, unanswered. Your ground is enough. Hold it. Now. The weight lifts not when they see you, but when you stop needing their sight. You don't have to react. The air clears. Their gaze dissolves. But another pull lingers, tugging at your core. Cut 6. Denying the hurt. It stings. Their words, their absence. A quiet ache behind your ribs. You tell yourself, it's nothing. It doesn't matter. You're over it. You move, work, smile, speak. But the hurt lingers, a shadow you won't name. Dennying feels like control, like you've won. It's not. It's a crack, spreading in the dark. You push it away, but it waits, unseen, unspoken, carving deeper into your stillness. Each denial builds a wall, not against them, against you. You think you're strong, but you're only hiding. The loop runs, not because they hurt you, but because you refuse to see. Again, the cost isn't their judgment. It's your own truth, buried, blurred. You deny to seem whole, but the ache grows, heavier than their silence. You run from what's already inside. Seneca said, "No one heals by hiding wounds. A cut unseen festers. Witness it. Don't flee. Breathe through. Let the hurt rise and pass. See it without feeding it." It's not a chain. It's a signal, not weakness, presence. To face and not break is your edge. Their silence echoes. Your chest tightens. Don't turn away. Observe. The hurt isn't your verdict. Your choice is. Hold it now. The weight shifts, not when the ache fades, but when you stop running from it. Stillness is enough. The quiet settles. The ache softens. But another reflex stirs, ready to pull you back. A bird grips a branch, tight, unyielding. The wind shifts. It lets go, not to fall, but to rise. The sky opens, not by holding, but by releasing. The ache fades. The quiet holds. But another shadow waits, pulling at your edges. Cut 7. Overthinking their words. Their silence. A void you fill. A word. A glance. A pause. You replay it. Again. You spin. What did they mean? Why did they say it? What's behind their eyes? Your mind loops, crafting reasons, stories, truths that aren't there. Overthinking feels like solving, like you're cracking their code. It's not. It's a trap. You're not finding answers. You're building a cage. Each thought, a bar you forge for yourself. Every loop tightens the grip. Not theirs, yours. You think you're gaining clarity, but you're losing ground. The system frays, not because they spoke, but because you chase their meaning. Again, the cost isn't their ambiguity. It's your own presence. Scattered, stolen. You dissect their words to feel in control. But the maze grows deeper with every turn. You run from silence you can't stand. Epictetus said, "You become what you give your attention to." A shadow moves. Don't follow. Pause. Their words are just sounds, not chains. Refrain. Let their meaning stay theirs, unclaimed. Witness the urge, let it pass. It's not about solving them, it's about holding you. Your mind doesn't need their script. Their pause lingers. Your thoughts surge. Don't chase. Breathe. Their words aren't your truth. Your stillness is. Hold it. Now. The weight lifts. Not when you understand, but when you stop needing to. Silence isn't surrender. The maze fades. The quiet returns. But another reflex waits, tugging at your core. Cut 8. Holding onto their judgment. Their words, heavy. A verdict. You carry it. In your chest. Your steps. Their dislike. A weight you won't drop. You replay it. Their tone. Their eyes. You think, if you hold it, you'll understand. You'll fix it. Holding on feels like strength. Like you're facing it. It's not. It's a chain you forge. Their judgment isn't your burden, but you make it so. Each moment you carry sinks you deeper. Not into truth, into trap. You think you're processing, but you're only binding. The loop spins, not because they judged, but because you keep it alive. Again, the cost isn't their dislike. It's your own clarity. Clouded, lost. You hold to feel in control. But the weight grows, heavier than their words. You sink under a load you choose. Seneca said, "You have no obligation to feel what others think." A stone, thrown, doesn't stay in your hand. Detach. Their judgment is theirs, not yours. Release. Let it fall, unclaimed. Witness the urge. Let it pass. It's not about them. It's about you. Your freedom doesn't need their verdict. Their eyes linger. Your chest tightens. Don't grip it. Breath. Their judgment isn't your truth. Your stillness is. Drop it. Now. Let go isn't weakness. The weight settles. The air clears. But another pull waits, ready to drag you back. Cut 9. Reacting to dislike. Their disapproval lands like a blade. A word, a look, a silence. Your pulse spikes. You want to speak, to push back, to prove them wrong. The urge surges to react. To show you're not what they see. You tense, ready to fight, to flee, to fix. You think it's defense. It's not. It's a trap. Their dislike doesn't demand your answer, but you give it again. Reacting feels like power, like you're standing your ground, but each move binds you tighter to their frame, to their judgment. The loop spins not because they disapprove, but because you answer. The system frays not from their words, but from your rush to respond. The cost isn't their opinion. It's your own stillness. Shattered, lost. You react to feel free. But the cage is your own making. Epictetus said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our opinions of them. A storm passes, you don't chase it. Stay still. Their dislike is just noise, not your chain. Pause. Let their words fall, unclaimed. Non-reaction isn't weakness. It's your edge. Witness the urge, let it fade. Your ground doesn't need their fight. Their silence stings. Your hands clench. Don't move. Breathe. Their dislike isn't your truth. Your choice is. Hold it. Now. The weight lifts, not when they change, but when you stop answering. You can end without drama. The storm quiets. The urge fades. But another reflex waits, tugging at your core. A man refreshes a dead chat every night. The screen stays blank. His chest sinks, yet he checks again. He stops. One day, the quiet returns, and with it, his ground. The urge to react fades in the silence. But another shadow lingers, pulling you back to the edge. Cut 10. Escaping the mirror. Their disapproval? A mirror you dodge. A word. A glance. A silence that burns. You turn away. Scroll faster. Laugh louder. Work harder. Anything to avoid it. Escaping feels like freedom. Like you're outrunning their gaze. It's not. It's a trap. You're not fleeing them. You're fleeing you. Their mirror shows nothing unless you stop to look. But you run again. Each dodge builds a shadow. Not theirs, yours. You think you're safe, but you're only lost. The loop spins, not because they judge, but because you hide. The system frays, not from their words, but from your refusal to face. The cost isn't their dislike. It's your own clarity. Blurred, scattered. You escape to feel whole. But the mirror waits, heavier with every step you take. Marcus Aurelius said, "You can escape everything except yourself. A reflection isn't a chain. See it, don't run. Witness their words without flinching. Observe the sting. Let it pass. It's not about their gaze. It's about your ground. Stand. Face the mirror. Not to change, but to know. Your truth doesn't need their frame. Their silence lands. Your urge spikes. Don't turn away. Breathe. Their disapproval isn't your verdict. Your presence is. Hold it now. The weight lifts, not when you hide, but when you stop running. Not doing is power too. The mirror fades. The quiet holds. But another reflex waits, tugging at your edges. Cut 11. Pleasing to be seen. You bend. Again. Your words soften. Your edges blur. Not to speak truth, but to fit their frame. Their eyes scan, cold, measuring. You smile, nod, adjust. You think it's harmony. It's not. It's pleasing. A silent trade, your ground for their glance. You shift to be seen, to be kept. Each move, a piece of you lost. Not to them, to yourself. You think you're building a bond. You're breaking your own line. Pleasing feels like connection, like you're earning their stay. But each bend cuts deeper, not into their heart, into yours. The loop spins, not because they demand, but because you offer again. The cost isn't their rejection. It's your own presence. Dimmed, invisible, you reshape to fill their gaze. But their gaze isn't your measure. The weight grows, not in their silence, but in your refusal to stand. Epictetus said, "If you wish to be loved, love yourself first. A blade bent cuts nothing. Hold the line, speak your truth, or stay silent. Disengage." Their approval isn't your anchor. Your center is stand, unbent, not for their eyes, for your own. Their gaze lingers. Your urge rises. Don't bend. Breathe. Their nod isn't your worth. Your ground is. Hold it. Now. The weight lifts. Not when they see you, but when you stop needing their sight. You don't owe anything. The air stills. Their gaze fades. But another pull waits, ready to drag you back. Cut 12. Avoiding the truth. Their words, sharp, heavy. A truth you don't want. Their dislike, a mirror you skirt. You turn away, change the subject, scroll past, walk faster. Avoiding feels like safety, like you're keeping peace. It's not. It's a trap. You're not dodging their gaze. You're dodging your own. Their truth waits, unclaimed. But you run, Aegon. Each sidestep builds a shadow. Not theirs, yours. You think you're free, but you're only bound. The loop spins, not because they spoke, but because you hide. The system frays, not from their judgment, but from your refusal to face. The cost isn't their dislike, it's your own clarity. Buried, lost. You avoid to feel whole. But the truth grows heavier with every step you take. Seneca said, "The truth does not hurt unless you resist it." A storm passes. You don't flee. Withdraw. Face the quiet. See their words without flinching. Breathe through. Let the sting rise and fade. It's not about their truth. It's about yours. Stand in the silence. Not to fight, but to know. Their silence burns. Your urge spikes. Don't run. Observe. Their dislike isn't your chain. Your presence is. Hold it. Now. The weight lifts. Not when you escape, but when you stop dodging. Stillness is enough. The truth settles. The quiet holds. But another reflex stirs, pulling at your edges. Epictetus, mocked by his master, stayed silent. His chains bound his body, not his mind. He spoke when needed, then returned to quiet. His freedom was within. The truth lingers. The silence holds. But another shadow waits, tugging at your core. Cut 13. Clinging to old wounds. It's over, you say. Their words, their absence, a chapter closed. But you replay, late at night, in quiet rooms. A moment, a message, a look. You hold it tight, unyielding. Clinging feels like loyalty, like you're keeping something alive. It's not. It's a trap. You're not preserving truth. You're chaining yourself. Their wounds aren't yours, but you make them so. Each memory tightens the knot. Not theirs, yours. You think you're honoring, but you're only bleeding. The loop spins, not because they hurt, but because you keep the cut open. Again, the cost isn't their absence. It's your own presence. Faded, lost. You cling to feel grounded, but the weight grows, heavier than their silence. You carry what's already gone. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have no need to revisit what's past. A scar doesn't need your touch to heal. Unhook. Let the memory fade, unclaimed. Breathe through. Witness the urge. Let it pass. It's not about them. It's about you. Your freedom doesn't need their pain. Their shadow lingers. Your chest tightens. Don't grip it. Release. Their wounds aren't your truth. Your quiet is. Let it go. Now." The weight lifts, not when they heal, but when you stop holding. The void is where it clears. The memory fades. The silence settles. But another reflex waits, pulling at your edges. Cut 14. Hoping for their change. You wait for them to see. Their silence. Their distance. You hold your breath. Maybe they'll shift. Understand. Return. You watch their words. Their moves. Hoping feels like patience. Like you're giving them time. It's not. It's a trap. You're not waiting for them. You're binding yourself. Their change isn't your key, but you make it so. Each hope tightens the chain. Not theirs. Yours. You think you're enduring, but you're only stalling. The loop spins, not because they stay still, but because you keep wishing. Again. The cost isn't their refusal. It's your own ground. Slipping. Lost. You hope to feel whole, but the weight grows, heavier than their absence. You pause for what's not yours to move. Seneca said, "Cease to hope, and you will cease to fear. A tide turns, you don't pull it. Detach. Their change is theirs, not yours. Step back, breathe through. Let their path fade, unclaimed. It's not about them. It's about you. Your freedom doesn't need their shift. Their silence lingers. Your hope surges. Don't wait. Release. Their change isn't your truth. Your choice is. Move. Now. The weight lifts. Not when they turn, but when you stop waiting. Let go isn't weakness. The hope fades. The quiet returns. But another reflex stirs, tugging at your core. Cut 15. Suppressing disapproval. Their disapproval lands soft, but heavy. A glance, a word, a pause that stings. You smile, nod, keep moving. You tell yourself, it's fine. It doesn't matter. You're above it. But the weight settles behind your eyes, in your chest. Suppressing feels like strength, like you're untouchable. It's not. It's a fracture waiting to crack. You bury their gaze, but it lingers, unseen, unspoken, eating at your clarity. Each buried sting builds a load, not theirs, yours. You think you're rising above, but you're only sinking deeper. The loop spins, not because they disapprove, but because you hide. Again. The cost isn't their opinion. It's your own presence, dimmed, lost. You suppress to seem whole, but the weight grows heavier than their silence. You carry what you could release. Epictetus said, "What need is there to weep over what you cannot control? A storm passes. You don't hold it. Observe. Their disapproval is just air, not your chain. Breathe through. Let the sting rise and fade. Witness it without feeding it. It's not weakness. It's power. To see and not break is your edge. Their gaze burns. Your pulse spikes. Don't bury it. SEE. Their disapproval isn't your truth. Your choice is. Hold it. Now. The weight lifts. Not when they approve, but when you stop hiding. Pain doesn't mean truth. The sting softens. The silence holds. But another reflex waits, pulling at your edges. Why didn't they stay? Their choice, not your worth. The words hang unanswered. The quiet holds, stronger than their absence. The silence deepens. The weight lifts. But one final reflex waits, ready to pull you back. Cut 16. Chasing their respect. You strive. Again. Harder, sharper, better. Their eyes watch, cold, unmoved. You push to earn their nod, their respect, a prize you chase. You think, if you're enough, they'll see. You work, speak, act, all for their gaze. Chasing feels like purpose, like you're proving your place. It's not. It's a trap. You're not earning respect. You're begging for it. Their nod isn't your ground. Each effort binds you tighter, not to their respect, but to their judgment. The loop spins, not because they withhold, but because you pursue. Again, the cost isn't their distance. It's your own center, lost, blurred. You chase to feel worthy, but the race has no end. The weight grows, not in their silence, but in your refusal to stop. Seneca said, "No one can make you feel inferior unless you consent." A shadow passes, you don't follow. Refrain. Their respect isn't your anchor. Hold the line. Breath through. Let their gaze fade, unclaimed. It's not about winning them. It's about holding you. Your worth doesn't need their vote. Their eyes linger. Your urge surges. Don't run. Stand. Their respect isn't your truth. Your ground is. Hold it. Now. The weight lifts, not when they nod, but when you stop needing it. You don't have to react. The chase fades. The quiet holds. But another reflex stirs, tugging at your core. Cut 17. Over-explaining your worth. You speak to prove. Their silence, their doubt, you fill it. Words spill. Reasons, defenses, truths you think they need. You explain again. Not to clarify, but to be enough. Over-explaining feels like justice, like you're setting the record straight. It's not. It's a trap. You're not proving worth. You're pleading for it. Their ears aren't your measure, but you make them so. Each word tightens the chain. Not theirs, yours. You think you're building a case, but you're only binding. The loop spins, not because they doubt, but because you answer. Again, the cost isn't their silence. It's your own. Ground. Dimmed. Numb. You explain to feel seen. But the words pile, heavier than their gaze. You speak to escape the quiet you fear. Epictetus said, "Silence is safer than speech." A river flows. You don't dam it. Disengage. Their doubt is theirs, not yours. Say less. Breathe through. Let their silence stand unclaimed. It's not about convincing them. It's about holding you. Your worth doesn't need their verdict. Their doubt lingers. Your urge surges. Don't speak. Witness. Their silence isn't your chain. Your quiet is. Hold it. Now. The weight lifts, not when they agree, But when you stop proving, silence isn't surrender. The words fade. The silence holds. But one last reflex waits, pulling at your edges. Cut 18. Fearing their judgment, their eyes, a weight you carry. A word, a look, a pause that binds. You tense. What will they think? What will they say? You move, careful, measured, small. Fearing feels like caution. Like you're guarding your ground. It's not. It's a trap. You're not protecting yourself. You're chaining your steps. Their judgment isn't your chain, but you make it so. Each fear builds a cage. Not theirs, yours. You think you're safe, but you're only bound. The loop spins, not because they judge, but because you shrink. Again, the cost isn't their opinion. It's your own presence. Faded, invisible. You fear to feel free. But the cage grows heavier than their gaze. You pause for what's not yours to carry. Seneca said, "Fear keeps pace with hope. Let go of both. A shadow falls. You don't cower. Drop it. Their judgment is theirs, not yours. Be here. Breathe. Through. Let their eyes pass, unclaimed. It's not about their gaze. It's about your ground. Stand in the quiet. Your truth doesn't need their vote. Their gaze burns. Your chest tightens. Don't shrink. Observe. Their judgment isn't your truth. Your stillness is. Hold it. Now. The weight lifts, not when they approve, but when you stop fearing. Detachment is a form of respect. The phone lies face down, no glow. The room hums, empty, still. Your hands rest, open, unmoving. The air carries no sound but your breath. Nothing stirs except the quiet. You didn't check, didn't explain, didn't chase. A moment held, a choice kept. The silence, not heavy, but clear. A weight, not theirs, but yours. Set down. The urge passed, unclaimed. That stillness, was it freedom? Or just a pause before the pull returns? Silence is a choice that weighs enough.